How many times have you seen or witnessed things that happen within your companies, within your organisations, and never said anything? If I think about how many times I've stayed quiet when I've heard like secondhand that something has happened, even though I've been within HR, right? Or I've overheard something, or somebody's brought something to my attention and I've gone and fed it back to senior leaders or directors. And I've not been happy with the response, but yet I didn't push hard enough to do anything about it, and ended up being that one that went back to said employee and said, well, you know what, I've had the conversation and, you know, they didn't mean it. You know, so-and-so is going to talk to so-and-so. And so hopefully, I know it's really shit, but hopefully that will all sort itself out. With the backdrop of more and more public examples of where questionable behaviour is happening within organisations, and, you know, you only have to look at like McDonald's as a good example. Time and time again, yes, there's conversations about the individual, yes, there's conversations about the leadership team, and yes, there's conversations about the culture, because the question is, what is the culture that allows that to happen to the extent that you only address it when it becomes public? But the other thing that's being talked about more and more is the role that HR have to play. And the reality is that a lot of employees feel like the HR departments, the individuals who lead them or who are part of it, even though in our minds we think as HR that we're part of the solution, but in the minds of other employees they feel like we're part of the problem. So if you are doing more work in this space and thinking about culture and inclusion, and you're thinking about anti-racism, and you're thinking about addressing inequalities, then you have to leave no stone unturned, and that includes looking in your own backyard. You know, it's not enough to be preaching to the business and to coach, cajole, pressure, force your leadership teams to do the right thing if you're too not looking at the way you lead, how your department can help facilitate the changes that need to be made, and how historically you may have been part of the problem, you know? And I say that not from a kind of, you know, you're shit and, you know, you pull your finger out and all the rest of it, because I've been there and I know exactly what it's like. And it is easy for me to say because I'm now outside of all of this. But I do still remember how it felt, like how it sat on my spirit sometimes, you know, when I felt like I wasn't doing enough. And then I also recognised the point when I stopped even trying to push against what I felt was the wrong way to approach things. Like I just gave up. You know, I remember thinking like, what's the point? Like there is absolutely no point. But in me giving up and accepting and towing the corporate line and going to said employee and saying, do you know what it is, because in a nutshell, like we can spend an hour talking about it, but let me paraphrase and said, that's pretty much what I said. I too was part of the problem then, you know? And that's difficult. Probably why I push so hard to kind of try and almost right the wrongs, right? That I feel like I could have done more, should have done more. But I always talk about the work has to start with us, and that includes the fact that we can't always keep finger pointing to other people and expecting them to do all of the work and we do nothing. And as a HR lead, we can't also expect to preach to the business about the right way to do things if we too do not do the work with ourselves and within our own teams. And my youngest daughter is now trying to get, covered in chocolate. Look, there she is. Do you want to say hello to everybody? Say hi.
Hiya.
Oh, you're a good girl. Did you say hello covered in chocolate?
Okay.
Yeah, did you say hello? There you go. Look, everyone can see you. Okay, you're going to go back to Daddy now. There you go. There's Daddy. Off you go. See you tomorrow.